Hello and welcome to All Top 5s. First written about in 1950 in an article from the Miami Herald, the Bermuda Triangle exploded into popular urban legend and myth culture. It is a large area in the North Atlantic with the points of the triangle being Miami, Puerto Rico, and, of course, Bermuda. A number of ships and aircraft have gone missing in that area, most of them historical, giving the triangle its infamy. But despite many people claiming there's nothing overly suspicious or dangerous about the Bermuda Triangle, some researchers have gone on to attempt explanations for these disappearances. Some of them are more scientific, and some of them are more supernatural or paranormal. Number 5. The Gulf Stream. One of the major factors in many of the Bermuda Triangle incidents is the complete disappearance of the ship or aircraft and their crew. Several planes, many carrying dozens of people, and a number of ships, each carrying dozens to hundreds of people, disappeared entirely without a trace. It's these disappearances that lead people to jump to paranormal conclusions, but there's another good reason why so many of these are never recovered or found by search crews. That reason is the Gulf Stream. This is one of the biggest, strongest sea currents in the world that flows near the surface of the ocean. It's driven by complex water temperatures and densities and flows at around 2.5 meters per second, standing at 100 kilometers wide and up to 1 kilometer deep. It's essentially a warm river running through the ocean. And it happens to run right through the Bermuda Triangle. Anything that lands, crashes or sinks in the ocean there for whatever reason is very likely to be picked up by the huge Gulf Stream and carried hundreds of kilometers away fairly quickly. And because the Gulf Stream and the Atlantic Ocean are so huge and deep, it rapidly makes locating any missing ships or planes nearly impossible. Bodies would be scattered all over the sea, and debris and parts from smashed planes or ships would disperse way out into the ocean, providing a very good explanation for the complete and utter disappearance of some fairly large vehicles and numbers of people. Number 4. Atlantis. Now onto a paranormal explanation put forward by many people. Atlantis is a mythical sunken island, originally part of Plato's fictional works that took the world of literature and pseudo-history by storm, with many believing the island actually existed and may still exist beneath the waves today. Atlantis is thought to have been home to a vastly technologically advanced civilization, which all but disappeared under the sea in ancient times. There have been reports of large circular underwater structures and pyramids off the coast of Cuba, some hypothesizing that it's a sunken city of some advanced intelligence from 50,000 years ago. Although it's not within the Bermuda Triangle itself, it does lend itself to the idea that mythical Atlantis may be in that region. Certainly, the island of Bimini in the Bahamas has long been believed to be the location of part of the city of Atlantis, with geologically improbable rock formations forming a kind of road or wall discovered in 1968. It's controversial as to whether it's an ancient man-made structure or an unusual rock formation even to this day, and its position within the Bermuda Triangle certainly strengthens Atlantis believers' arguments. It's thought that some long-forgotten ancient Atlantean technology interfered with passing ships and planes, causing them to malfunction and sink. Some believe it's powerful energy crystals releasing death rays and radiation causing navigation systems to malfunction. Some believe it may be enormous structures interfering sporadically with compasses' magnetic fields. No evidence of any of this has been found, but as people always say, the Atlantic Ocean is a pretty big place. Number 3. Methane hydrates. Back to a natural explanation here. And it's a really interesting one. On the continental shelves in oceans around the world, there exist natural gas pockets, usually in the form of methane hydrates. These pockets are thought to erupt infrequently in what are sometimes called mud volcanoes, but this has never been recorded in the natural world, or the wild, as it were. In laboratory experiments, however, the theory was put to the test with a methane eruption simulated and the properties of the water measured. Shockingly, the test showed that the bubbles shooting up through the water across such a large area turn it to a light froth for a time, thereby decreasing the density of the sea. This was more than enough in the laboratory to sink a scale model ship, as there wasn't sufficient buoyancy to keep it afloat. In reality, this could happen without any warning and sink a ship in a terrifyingly short space of time. Coupled with the Gulf Stream carrying away any debris or wreckage, this hypothesis is certainly realistic. The one main catch with this theory, however, is that scientists from the United States Geological Survey claim there have been no large hydrate releases in the Bermuda Triangle for 15,000 years. Who knows for sure though? Could there have been some unrecorded methane hydrate eruptions sinking ships over the decades? It's a scary thought. Number 2. Aliens. And bouncing straight back to a paranormal explanation. Alien life forms are widely believed across the world to be visiting Earth in what we term UFOs, and some people believe that aliens walk amongst us, disguised as humans or hidden out of sight. Alien abductions have been claimed all over the world by people from all walks of life, and this is one of the major paranormal theories attached to the Bermuda Triangle disappearances. Made more famous by Steven Spielberg in his 1977 sci-fi adventure Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In this movie, it becomes apparent that the crew of Flight 19, a real squadron of planes that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle in 1945, followed by their search and rescue team, emerge unharmed and unaged after 30 years from an alien spacecraft that has made contact with humans. This, of course, is a blockbuster version of a paranormal theory about the Bermuda Triangle, but theorists believe that aliens chose this region, for whatever reason, as their base for abducting humans. Whether it's for them to learn more about humanity, or whether it's an assessment of our aircraft and boats and their crews and our weapon capabilities, no one can say for sure. Although it is quite unusual, as alleged alien abductions go, for entire vehicles to disappear as well as the people on board. But there is no credible evidence for this theory. Even so, many believe it, and the Bermuda Triangle has certainly had its share of UFO sightings over the years. Number 1. Storms. This area of the Atlantic Ocean, compounded by the powerful Gulf Stream, is one of the world's hotspots for tropical cyclones and violent storms. These storms are well known to people living in this part of the Americas and cause enormous damage and death on a yearly basis. Many of the notable Bermuda Triangle incidents seem to have occurred during or near to stormy weather, often even hurricanes. Conditions during storms on the open sea are deadly, and countless ships have been lost to such weather, especially before heavier modern ships were constructed, ever since the first recorded example of a Spanish fleet in 1502 sinking in a hurricane. One notable example in the Bermuda Triangle was the Pride of Baltimore on 14th of May 1986, which sunk, along with 4 of its 12 crew members, sadly. The surviving crew spoke about very unstable weather conditions in which the wind changed direction and massively increased speed from 30 km an hour to nearly 150 km an hour in seconds. This phenomenon is known as a microburst squall and acts as a kind of inverse tornado. Cold air from high in the atmosphere was dragged down at great speed and hit the water like a bomb explosion, causing the Pride of Baltimore to capsize suddenly. It's a natural event that has been recorded at other times too, such as the Concordia near Brazil in 2010. So, storms certainly seem to be a major factor in the Bermuda Triangle theories of explanation. And with those 5, that's it from All Top 5s for this week. Soon I'll be looking at 5 of the most notable disappearances in detail in another video, as they shed more light on how these incidents occurred and may give us more clues as to the causes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at some of the explanations put forward for the Bermuda Triangle. Don't forget that this is one of those points of contention where people believe different things, and that's absolutely fine, so let's all be polite and considerate in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, because that really helps me out, and it lets me see what kind of thing you guys are enjoying. Don't forget that I release a new video every single Tuesday, so just whack that big old subscribe button and you'll be subscribed straight away. So, peace and love to each and every one of you, stay out of the Bermuda Triangle, and I'll see you all next time on All Top 5s.